Hey friends, welcome back to Not Who's. Quick fun fact that you need to know. Most important news I have of the day. They make pretzel Pop-Tarts now. Cinnamon, sugar, chocolate. It's delicious. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize this was a thing until we went to Target the other day. Best thing I've ever eaten. Anyways, they're not today's video sponsor. Pop-Tart, you're not sponsoring us, but our merch is sponsoring us. Check out our fresh new designs. Oh, feels so good. My wife actually complimented me this morning saying, hey, is that one of yours? That's great. Actually, first she asked me, is that one of Linus's designs? A humble burn or a positive burn? Check out our merch designs at the link in the video description. Let me finish chewing my Pop-Tart. And let's jump on into the hot news. Because first up, we have some cool information regarding AMD's potential next graphics cards, because something has been registered with the Korean RRA, which is something that AMD tends to do about a month before the launch of brand new graphics cards. They did this prior to the launch of the 5700 and 5700 XT, where they registered the D16302 and the D18206 with the RRA, and then that became the 5700 and 5700 XT. Similarly, that happened with the 5500 XT and the 5600 XT. So the fact that AMD has registered the D32310 and the D3201 seems to indicate that those will potentially be coming out in March, because those were registered both in February 3rd and 19th respectively, given the numbers that I've associated. So that doesn't really give us any indication of what's coming besides the fact that AMD is getting ready for some sort of new product. Whether or not that's going to be a consumer-facing product or that's going to be a data center-facing product, not quite sure, but given the history that we've had with previous RX launches, this could potentially be big Navi. This could be the 5950 XT that we've all been waiting for to take down NVIDIA. But keep in mind that we talked about in a previous episode of Hot News this week that NVIDIA is preparing to make some sort of announcement that we won't be disappointed with at GTC in March as well. So, you know, it's that meme of call the ambulance, but not for me.
But not for me.
Because AMD is ready to gun down NVIDIA, but NVIDIA is not ready to go down. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That was bad. But as much as we could be excited for the next generation of AMD graphics cards, we gotta talk about the previous generation, because the 5700 and 5700 XT, at least the ASUS ROG Strix versions, have had some problems staying cool. And ASUS has come out and said, that was AMD's fault, okay? They told us the mounting pressure should be between 30 and 40 PSI, when really we found that our Strix cards should be between 50 and 60. So it's AMD's fault. They told us the mounting pressure was wrong. So if you want to get the proper mounting pressure on your 5700 XT versions that you purchased from us, you can buy new mounting screws from us. And by buy, I mean they'll send it to you so that you can actually have cooling. ASUS releasing a worse version of a card than they should have. And now after testing, after several months, because this has been out since July, so it's been over 6 months that this has been out there, they're like, oh, hey, maybe it's not cooling properly. So here you go. Well, they're providing a fix. You'll have to contact an ASUS service center starting in March of 2020, and they'll happily perform the upgrade for you. But that seems a little bit of a rigmarole in order to get the screws. Better late than never, but ASUS throwing AMD under the bus saying, hey, they're bad at launching graphics cards. They gave us the wrong information. Not only that, drivers have also been sucky. So AMD not necessarily being great in the graphics department, but we have something to look forward to next month. Hopefully the drivers are ready. Ha! They haven't been. Just that's what the joke is. The 5600 XT was a mess of a launch. There's some saltiness. I'm excited, but also I know my letdowns have been there. Speaking of letdowns, Intel's 10th generation CPUs have been listed. The F versions, the ones without an integrated GPU. There's a slide showing all of the ones that we have, including both the names of them as well as the base and boost clocks of the chips. And so they look to be okay. You got the i9-10900KF, 3.7 gigahertz base and up to 5.2 gigahertz on the boost clock, or 5.3 with thermal velocity boost. When are these going to come out? We've been seeing these same leaks for a while. Intel released these already, okay? Stop being cowards. Stop being afraid to compete with AMD. Oh wait, no, it's not that you're cowards. It's the fact that your chips draw a lot of power. I'm okay with that, okay? It's winter, so we need chips that keep our houses warm. So just release them. It's a good time. Don't release these in the summer. And then we also reported in an episode of Hot News 2 days ago about how it looks like a certain virus, which I can't say the name of because YouTube auto captions these videos and they demonetize us on it. We put the word in our description and we were instantly demonetized. I had to check it out and just put virus instead of the. Anyways, we talked about how that's going to impact tech supplies, and it actually looks like that has already been happening, because major notebook vendors are reporting that they saw a decrease in sales of 30% in January. A 30% decrease in January sales from the likes of HP and Dell. Yikes. Normally they see a downtick in January because of the Chinese New Year. Everybody goes on holiday, but because of they haven't necessarily been able to keep up with production and get things back rolling on schedule. Speaking of rolling on schedule, HTC looks to be rolling towards their doom, at least from what I can gather, because they've announced their new family lineup of the HTC Vive Cosmos. This is just going to inevitably lead to them not being around anymore. The Vive was the premier headset for VR for a while. The Oculus, the original one, wasn't very good. The Vive had it, and now Oculus has taken it away with the Quest and the Rift, and then you also have the Valve Index, which is the high end. Well, HTC Vive is trying to make things slightly better, but it doesn't seem like they're gonna fix some of the issues that the Cosmos had, which was the inside out tracking. They're just gonna keep it. So they're gonna have the Cosmos Play, which is gonna have less cameras for inside out tracking. It's gonna be cheaper, but then they're also gonna have the Cosmos Elite, which is gonna be $1,000, but it doesn't seem like they're gonna have an increased resolution based on what I've seen. Everything's gonna be essentially the same, but you get the Lighthouse tracking for $1,000. There's no freaking mention of any sort of resolution or refresh rate increase. It's just the faceplate that's changed so that you can do Lighthouse tracking for $300 more, which now you can buy the faceplate that HTC promised for about $210. And then they're also going to be releasing a mixed reality headset called the Cosmos XR. None of this is exciting. None of this is flagship level. None of this competes with the Valve Index. None of this competes with the Oculus Quest or Rift. Oh man, HTC, you lost your phone company. You're probably going to lose your VR company soon. Yikes. And you're going to lose a lot of apps on your phone in case you use Microsoft Office, because Microsoft is condensing everything into an all-in-one Office app. So you don't have to have Excel and Doc and all of that separate, unlike freaking Google, which I have to have Google Sheets and Google Docs separately for. Microsoft finally beating Google at something. Congratulations. And MGM has beat me at holding myself privately. That is to say, they've had a data breach of over 10 million hotel guests have had their data breached and posted on some cybersecurity forum, or not cybersecurity forum, the opposite of cybersecurity, a hacking forum. MGM is saying that there's no financial, payment card, or password data involved in the matter, just your name, your address, and your favorite preference of perfume on your bed. I'm not sure about that last one, but I like perfume on my bed when I get to a hotel, especially when I'm staying at a fancy hotel like the MGM Grand in Vegas, which I've never been to. Vegas or the MGM hotel. Hey, Reece.
Hey.
Do you want a car?
Yeah.
Would you like to pay $700 a month for a car?
Maybe.
Okay, what if I told you that you could choose from any car that you want?
I'm listening.
Okay, $700 a month, and you can not choose from any car you want. You can choose from 4 cars from Nissan. Okay, so the $700 switch service from Nissan includes that you can get the Ultima, Rogue, Pathfinder, and Frontier and swap out which one you want from a Nissan dealership. $700 a month. You can buy one of these cars and it's not $700 a month. I guess you're not technically in debt at that point and you're on part of a subscription membership. No Nissan's worth $700 a month, unless you're getting a GTR, and then I guess you'd probably be paying closer to it like $1,000 a month. Anyways, this car subscription service, you have to pay $500 activation fee. If you want additional vehicles, you'll have to pay $200 extra per month to include the Leaf Plus, Maxima, Murano, Armada, Titan, or 370Z. And then if you want the GTR, it's an extra $100 per day. Per day! I guess this is slightly cheaper than car rental services and slightly cheaper than Ubering everywhere, but this is not cheaper than just getting a freaking car. I don't understand this. Anybody who can comprehend the framework within which this makes sense, because they're opening this up in Houston, let me know down below in the comments. I guess if you have terrible credit, but you also have disposable income, you'll use this. But I'm pretty sure you can buy a freaking Ultima for like $250 to $300 a month with like hardly any money down. I'm gonna stop being baffled by this, and I'm gonna be baffled by this next article, which is Staples is collaborating with Spreaker to open up podcast centers in 6 of Staples stores. So this is a place where you can go into the Staples retail store and utilize their Rodecaster Pro control board, Rode microphones, and Shure headphones, which sounds really great. It has a space for up to 4 people. Reece, would you ever use this?
No.
Okay, well, 1, because it's weird to go do a podcast in a retail store. 2, it's because you have to pay $60 per session. You're paying $1 a minute to use this equipment. This makes no sense to me. I don't understand this.
That doesn't make sense.
Okay, 1, if you have to use this, you're likely a fledgling podcast, right? So you're up and coming. You don't have the money to be paying $60 an episode. That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? Just go buy a Blue Yeti for like $80 and you'll have more freaking quality than whatever they're gonna give you here, and it's gonna cost you less per episode. And then number 2, if you are a podcast that's making enough to pay $60 an episode, you're not gonna do this. Why would you go to a retail center? None of this makes any sense. Who thought this was a good idea? Salty news is what this is. And I'm gonna be salty over the virus again. Gonna talk about that quickly. Sony is pulling out of PAX East over virus concerns. Naughty Dog saying that they're sad because they were gonna show off The Last of Us Part 2, but they'll catch everybody on May 29th till The Last of Us Part 2 comes out. But you won't have to wait for Android 11 because apparently the developer preview is already out. It has a ton of new features. We're gonna leave a link in the video description for you to check it out. Includes a new Bluetooth stack with a way that Android interfaces with Bluetooth. It's now called Gabeldorsch.
Excuse me?
Which means beard fork. There's also a new launcher, there's new notification history logs, and there's new tweaks to the Android gestures. You can pin up to 4 apps in the share menu, and it also seems to indicate that the Pixel 5 will have wireless reverse charging. But with Android 11, the original Pixel and Pixel XL will not be receiving this upgrade for the first time ever. Technically, the upgrades for Pixel original were supposed to stop with Android 9. Google was courteous to roll out 10, and now it seems like 11 is not going to happen for the Pixel and Pixel XL. So it's time to upgrade it to at least the 2 if you want the new one. And then on top of that, Verizon says that they're not going to be selling the Pixel phone at all anymore, starting with the Pixel 4a. Not going to be sold because it's just not selling very well. But what sells very well in my eyes is the fact that Spotify is partnering with Music Match to come out with real-time lyrics on your phone for the songs you listen to. I'm a lyric hoarder in my brain. Reece can attest to the fact that I love lyrics. It's how I enjoy songs.
He has way too much space in his brain reserved exclusively for lyrics.
So I love this change. Spotify, yes, please give it to me now. And then let's talk about Cyberpunk 2077 quickly because NVIDIA has confirmed that it's going to be a day 1 availability on GeForce Now, which makes sense because they're partnering with Cyberpunk for ray tracing as well as releasing a custom card for Cyberpunk. So if they didn't have it on GeForce Now from day 1, it'd be a little weird. What also is a little weird is the bendable glass that Samsung has on their Z Flip, but they're saying that they're now going to make it available for other foldable phone manufacturers to try it out. When they say glass, they really mean a fancy plastic, but I mean, what is glass besides fancy plastic? Or what is plastic besides undergraded glass? I know they're made from 2 completely different bases. It's a terrible joke. Just let me move on with my life. Same, but not the same at all. Which is what the IRS has said to Facebook when they charged them with a $9 billion tax lawsuit because they're saying that they're hiding all of their money in Ireland and that they owe them tax. That's a lot of cash. So the lawsuit got underway on Tuesday in a San Francisco court where the IRS is basically alleging that Facebook is understating its intellectual property assets and also hiding money in a foreign country and thereby should be paying a larger tax bill. And so they're getting sued. We'll keep you updated as this plays out. Reece, do you want Iron Man? There's a real life Iron Man in Dubai, did you know this? The jet man hit 6,000 feet from a standing takeoff. That's over a mile high in the air. We'll leave a link to this video down below in the description, but this jet man took off from Dubai to 150 miles an hour, hit top altitude in 30 seconds. Actual flying around, right? And the way he landed was with a parachute, but they said that the next step is actual preparing for landing. But he went through 50 prep flights and practiced over 100 takeoffs to make sure that he could actually do this stunt. Iron Man, real or not? Ripley's Believe It or Not is over. Thank you for watching Not Who's. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna eat my Pop-Tarts, the pretzel ones, and you can buy our merch down below in the link in the video description. Have a great weekend. Bye. Probably shouldn't say that.